lietas mūsu dzīvē ir ārkārtīgas no zinātnes. Veselības, ekonomikas, vides, kā bērni mācās, laimes.
Science generates new technology which rely on found new industries to help companies grow for economic growth, to make us all richer. Science helps advance medical care, come up with new medicines, new vaccines. Science helps support government decision-making, informing government decision-makers about the complex problems societies face and helping them know what's the best direction to go in. It's also helping us develop ways to move ourselves to a greener, lower carbon economy. That's going to depend on innovation as well. So, things we don't call science, but scholarship in arts and the humanities help us understand where we've come from and help us preserve our past and help us build museums and a sense of where we've been.
I think we can't do anything in our modern, complex, very challenged world without science. From health to water to food to energy to education to politics, we need science to help us to understand where we're coming from, where we're going to, and how we get where we want to be.
Sabiedrība no zinātnes gūst patiešām dažādu, ļoti plašu iegūmu spektru. Un pirmais iegūms ir sabiedrībai, cilvēkiem, studentiem, skolēniem, jebkuram ir iespēja piekļūt zināšanām, mācīties un strādāt ar cilvēkiem, kas zināšanas rāda. Un, ja mēs domājam par tām zināšanām, kas rodas un kāda veida viņas ir un kādās jomās tēmās, tad tas spektrs ir ļoti plašs. Tā ir gan juridiskā sistēma, tā ir mūsu sabiedrība kā tāda, sabiedrības veselība, tā ir arī ekonomika. Visās šajās jomās ir zinātnes pienesums, jo zinātne dod mums zināšanu par dažādām dzīves sfērām.
Par to jau kongresā ir daudz runāts un grūti kaut ko jaunu pateikt. Protams, kad ir šie ekonomiskie ieguvumi, vai arī cilvēku labklājības ieguvumi, zinātne kā ieguldījums. Bet par ko varbūt mazāk mēs šoreiz runājām, ir to, ka Latvija, parādot sev zinātnes sasniegumus, iesaistoties starptautiskā sadarbībā, arī stiprina savu, kā angliski saka, soft power.
Pirmkārt, lai palielinātu zinātnes ietekmi, zinātne ir nepieciešama. Tātad mēs varam novērtēt zinātnes vērtību un zinātnē ieguldīt. Un ieguldīt uzreiz, uzdodot mums svarīgus jautājumus. Tos, kas ir saistīti ar mūsu valsts attīstību, tos, kas ir saistīts ar mūsu valsts drošību, tos, kas ir saistīti ar mūsu cilvēku veselību, ar mūsu dabu. Uzdodot šos jautājumus un uzdodot darbu zinātniekiem, mēs lielā mērā varam palielināt to ietekmi tieši tādā jomā, kurā mēs vēlamies.
Actually, a similar challenge to what we face all around the globe. Communicating science effectively means moving beyond the kinds of metrics that, frankly, a lot of people, including elected officials and policymakers, have a difficult time understanding and communicating necessarily. Making things more relatable is essential. So things like different types of ways of visualizing actually data, using more qualitative kind of case studies, telling good stories. Essentially what we want to do is use evidence to tell good stories about how science matters for us.
Šeit, kas man nāk prātā no tā kongresā teiktāja, ko profesors Somera teica, kad ir jādomā par to, kādā veidā komunicēt zinātni sabiedrībai un tāpat arī valdībai. Bet varbūt, ko es varētu pateikt no sevis ir to, ka būtu jādod brīva rīcība un liels atbalsts Latvijas jaunajiem zinātniekiem. Šis potenciāls ir milzīgs, bet viņiem ir vajadzīgs atbalsts. Mums ir jāmēģina jaunos zinātniekus, kas ir devušies prom, atgriezt, un tieši jaunos zinātniekus. Un ar šo te atbalstu jauniem zinātniekiem, manuprāt, un uzlabotu zinātnes komunikāciju Latvijas zinātnē ir liela nākotne.
I've given this quite a bit of thought, and I think first and foremost is to be doing good science. So we have to have a strong knowledge base and we have to build up a strong science and a strong knowledge commons. That's the starting point. It's a necessary condition. But to do that, we need to have funding and more funding, but it has to go beyond that. So we also, to increase the impact, we need to have a shared vision behind which scientists can organize themselves and be mobilized to build science that's going to bring about the kinds of societal impact we need and the kinds of societal change we need. And finally, to really do that, we need to work, Latvians need to work together to build partnerships, collaborations, networks between the scientists, the government, the politicians, the policy actors, private sector enterprises, whether they're large or small, farms in the rural areas, citizens and the civil society, because that helps us to decide, are we doing the right kinds of science for the right kinds of benefits? And through building, working together, it informs the priorities of research agendas, it informs how research is done, it informs what kinds of analysis is used on the data, and it informs the kinds of outputs and disseminations that emanate from the science. So I think those three, the quality of science, the funding, and the building of partnerships and networks will go a long way towards the goals.
I think just doing research in areas that are important for industry and agriculture in the country, funding research that people have a use for, and then encouraging scientists to pay attention to society also in the work that they're doing, providing incentives to take things out and to provide resources to do the work necessary to translate their science into society and to take the time to speak to people and speak to decision makers, I think would help a lot.
Latvijas zinātniekiem es pirmkārt novēlētu panākumus starptautiskajā arēnā un veiksmi.